From Dark Horse Comics' White Hybrid to Killer Croc Xenomorph Hybrid, there have been innumerable horrifying Xenomorph variants, but Marvel recently went all guns blazing in its attempt to create a Xenomorph variant that looks like a cross between a Xenomorph, a Lovecraftian monster, as well as a Godzilla-like kaiju. Of course, it did not originate in one day, and Marvel spent several comic arcs to bring this creature to life. Called the Winter Beast, the Xenomorph variant was born on an icy moon called LV-695, which has a long history of its own. So in this video, we will explore the Winter Beast before discussing its fate in the franchise. Let's begin, shall we?
Before we go into our explanation, we have a very small request. If you like our content, please support us by subscribing to our channel. This is a small click for you, but for us it means a lot. Thank you, and let's begin.
2156 AD, Evolutionary Stage 1, The Beginning. To fully understand Winter Beast, we have to go into its history, which spans over several decades and started in the 2023 silent comic titled Aliens Annual. In the comic, we're thrown straight into the thick of it in 2156, with the spacecraft nosediving onto LV-695, a frosty moon that's got more in store than just ice. Later, it would also become the place that Batya Zahn and her family would call their research playground and temporary home. Anyway, so we meet the indigenous citizens LV-695. These were wild insectoid creatures that seemed to be the love child of lizards and four-legged spiders. When the spaceship goes boom, these creatures get curious, maybe thinking that it was the dinner bell, and approach the crash site. They hightail it over. Little did they know, they were about to crash the worst party ever. Hidden in the wreckage were ovomorphs with facehuggers itching for a face to hug. Only problem? These insectoid faces were pretty huge for our facehuggers, which of course made the face hugging pretty difficult. That's like a facehugger's worst nightmare. I mean, these guys have one job, just one, and failing even at that must suck. Anyway, the facehuggers are not quitters. When the going gets tough, the tough gets swallowed. Literally. They dive into the belly of the beast, betting it all on a Hail Mary to kickstart the chestburster fiesta. And would you believe it? It works. Out pops a chestburster from one of these massive insectoids, and suddenly it's raining white hybrid xenomorphs. This new breed of white xenomorphs starts tearing through their black xenomorph cousins like a hot knife through butter, which does seem pretty similar to the alien genocide story arc, with red xenomorphs fighting their black counterparts. In fact, one of these white hybrid badasses kills the reigning xenomorph queen and crowns itself the new egg-laying monarch. So that's how the white facehuggers and white xenomorphs began appearing on the planet. 2190 AD, Evolutionary Stage 2, a Xenomorph Killer. In Alien Thaw, we return to LV-695 in 2190. By now, water was the new gold since it has become too scarce. Naturally, it sparks a cosmic gold rush as humans sprawl out into the world, desperate to wet their beaks into the galaxy's most precious resource. We meet Batya Zahn, the head researcher of Talbot Engineering Incorporated, who's scouring the icy reaches of LV-695 with her family in tow. Interestingly, Batya's young daughter Zasha also does her part in the icy escapades. One day Zasha was doing her thing, chipping away at the frozen unknown when her ice pick went all sizzly. Why? Because she struck a frozen facehugger, which unleashed its acid blood on the ice pick. Zasha, not one to freak out over a little alien acid, informs her mother about the news. Batya, sensing they've stumbled onto something bigger than a mere water source, is all ears and eyes. She insists that Zasha brings the creature to base. Little did she know of the horrors she was inviting. And just like that, what started as a mission to quench humanity's thirst spirals into an "oh no, what have we unleashed" scenario. It's like stumbling upon a direwolf pup in the wilds of Westeros. Exciting, but you just know it's going to lead to some serious drama. Batya and her crew are about to learn that some secrets are better left frozen, tucked away under layers of ice and mystery. One thing leads to another, and before long, we have ourselves a white hybrid xenomorph, nothing like you've seen before. The white xenomorph we see and hear is as stark as a White Walker in a snowstorm. Needless to say, this isn't your garden variety xenomorph. It's like the albino dragon of the bunch, complete with a look that's as frightening as it is killing. It also had spikes throughout the length of its body, which is again unique to this particular variant. Additionally, it had this scaly hide, which is in contrast to its black brethren. But I guess the most notable feature about this breed of xenomorphs was its intriguingly unique tail. While the regular xenomorphs have a blade-tipped tail, the white xenomorph's tail was bristled in nature, and it had razor-sharp spikes that could serve as a defensive weapon, apart from serving as a weapon to slash and cut. Stage 3, Winter Beast. In the final issue of the 2024 Alien, we got this massive white xenomorph hybrid that just bursts onto the scene straight from the depths to bring down the classic black Xenos. Needless to say, this behemoth was way more powerful and bigger than a Xenomorph queen, let alone a drone. Just looking at it will tell you that it is a towering monster among monsters, and it wasn't long before that it started leading its own breed of white Xenomorphs, which we know are no small fries themselves. Now, I already explained how deadly the white Xenomorph was in Alien Thaw, but this one here, this kaiju level monster was in another league altogether. Called the Winter Beast, this Godzilla-like hybrid was pretty much the monster that hunts other monsters. Although the white Xenos are not exactly humanity's allies, these creatures kind of help humans by killing their black counterparts. Zasha was caught in the middle of this chaos. This was a silver lining as she faced off against not just the Xenos, but Yutani's deadly enforcers, including a lethal synthetic assassin who was accompanying a Yutani descendant. Going back a bit in time, after the whites and the blacks clashed in Alien Thaw, both factions ended up frozen under the ice. However, Weyland Yutani came back to LV-695 to continue their drilling operations, which awoke these sleeping giants, reigniting the battle with the white Xenos leading the charge. So as Jun Yutani digs for LV-695's secrets, he lays the ground for a monstrous conflict with the fate of everyone caught in the middle hanging in the balance. But what happens to the Winter Beast? So, Zasha had come back to LV-695 to find Dayton, her synthetic father figure, and she succeeds in finding him in the 4th issue of the comic. Zasha, alongside her synthetic guardian Dayton, manages to bring down the assassin synthetic who was accompanying Jun Yutani on LV-695. Amidst their struggle for survival, the duo unwittingly stirs not just a swarm of the regular black Xenos and their white variants, but also awakens the Winter Beast from its icy slumber. As human endeavors disturb the delicate peace of LV-695, the ensuing chaos awakens both the Xenomorph factions and culminates in the rise of the Winter Beast. If you would look closely, the Winter Beast embodies the essence of cosmic horror, reminiscent of Lovecraft's Great Old Ones, which increases the dread quotient of the Alien franchise manifolds. In the climax of the issue, the battlefield was a chaotic mess of black Xenomorphs and white variants locked in a brutal free-for-all. It was clear that the Winter Beast was acting as an indiscriminate juggernaut. It was smashing through near about everyone without any prejudice. It killed the blacks, the whites, and everything that moved. But the push comes to shove when it's revealed that the Winter Beast itself was carrying a Xenomorph embryo. And not just any embryo though, this one birthed the white Xenomorph variant that was practically the size of its gigantic host right from the very beginning. It was still just a baby. This hints at a future where this infant grows into a super behemoth that dwarfs even the Winter Beast. Now, the story leaves us hanging on the edge of our seats about the fate of this newborn white Xenomorph titan. Although its death is hinted at, anyone who knows a thing or two about Xenomorphs understands their legendary knack for survival. It's a good bet that this colossal creature shrugged off the Weyland Yutani bomb like it was nothing, poised to become the series' next major menace. For now, the Winter Beast holds the title of the franchise's reigning kaiju, a distinction that's even cooler now that it's been given a proper name rather than just being another faceless beast in the dark. Now that was the Winter Beast for you, Marvel's latest addition to the Alien universe, but more importantly, we gotta wait and watch what the new creature that birthed from the Winter Beast will go on to become. So, fans are left with bated breath, wondering what havoc this new, massive white Xenomorph will wreak in future installments. Its introduction sets the stage for unprecedented threats in the Alien saga, and you can rest assured that the terror is far from over. That was all in this one, but we would be in the thick of this awesome saga. So see you around, guys!
And if you liked our content, don't forget to leave a like and subscribe to us if you haven't already. Have a good one and be safe. Thanks, everyone.